Hi everybody, welcome to The Writer Chick with your host Kay Nicole. And clearly you can see I have a new microphone now. See, if you weren't on my Instagram, which you should really follow me, I posted about how I finally got this after 3 weeks of struggling. So we're here now. It sounds great. Hopefully it stays that way. And you guys should totally see the janky ass setup I got going on right now in order to record on my bed. So yeah. But we're not here for that. We're here for the episode, which if you saw by the title, we're going to be talking about our creative spark. But before we get into that, I got to go through the usual. So if you want to stick around, feel free. If not, it's cool too. I'm not mad at you. Go ahead and skip. So number one, I have a Patreon now. So if you guys want to sign up to get exclusive access into new episodes, voting power, Discord chat, bunch of other shit. I have a bunch of little perks. Then go right ahead. Tiers start at $5, and I think the highest is like 15. So yeah, but if you want to support your girl, then feel free. 2, this podcast is available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, and YouTube officially. So if you would like to watch me on any streaming platform of your choice, then feel free. Of your choice, or listening to me on any streaming platform of your choice, then thank you and hello, welcome back. So excited to have you. 3, follow me on Instagram. That's going to be K the Writer. That's Kae the Writer. Like I said, you'll get a lot of updates on there that you don't get on here. So feel free to swing by. Number 4, I am finally, and I mean finally, doing beta reading services. Beta reading and or editing. I will edit your book, your poetry collection, your screenplay, or a blog post. So if you're interested in booking me, then feel free to head over to the tab on my blog, or you can just click the link below. 4, or no, I'm not on 4. I'm on 5. I don't know anymore. You can donate to the podcast. I feel like I forget to say this quite often, but if you would like to support, then there is a listener support link down below. You can donate every other month, I think, or something. I'm not really sure. And if you don't want to do that, support my Cash App. That will also be down below because I don't actually remember what my Cash App is. But if you want to support me and bless me with a little bit of money, then feel free. That would be greatly appreciated. And last thing, if you're a self-published author, you know anyone who is, and you want a free book review, then please feel free to sign up. That's all I have left to say on that. So let's go ahead and get into the episode. You clicked on this video for a reason, or you clicked on the podcast episode for a reason. Maybe you're one of those people who lost a creative spark, or is in the process of losing it, or feeling like you're losing it. And I think this is something most creatives don't talk about as much, because we're always supposed to be on go constantly. So trying to talk about moments where we don't feel creative or we feel burnt out, it seems taboo. But I'm here to not do that. Okay. It's okay to feel that way. It's okay to feel like you're losing that spark sometimes. I'm just here to tell you and give you ways to regain it back. Okay. Because we've all gone through it. It's a part of the journey. If you don't go through it, then there's something wrong with you, okay? Just like if you don't go through burnout, something wrong with you. If you don't go through crippling self-doubt, something wrong with you. We're going to experience it at least once, so don't be afraid to feel it because it happens more than you know, all right? So the very first thing that I have on my list is to try to keep going regardless. And I don't usually recommend this unless it's self-doubt that's causing the problem. Like if you're burnt out creatively and stuff, or you just have no energy, then don't necessarily follow this. But if you feel like a lot of your spark is being drained because of how much self-doubt you're dealing with, then maybe you need to sit with yourself and find a way to combat it. I actually did talk about this in not my last episode, no, the one before my stalker story time, okay? Which if you haven't checked that out, you definitely should. I'll link it up here or something, or you can search it's right there. But in my video and or episode about my writing process, I actually did talk about this book I was reading for class, where the author was talking about ways to deal with crippling self-doubt, okay? And basically, to summarize what she said and what I said, you have to learn to turn it off in any way, shape, or form that works for you. Because the only way to start dealing with that negative chatter is facing it head on. Self-doubt is definitely one of those things that just happens, but you let it keep you from pursuing your goals and you let it keep you from doing something you love. and you let it drain whatever joy you had from it, that's when it becomes an issue. And that's when you need to learn how to manage it. Because my thing is, think of yourself not as a bully, bro. Everything that you say to yourself, every negative thought that you say to yourself, you wouldn't take from a stranger. So why are you going to take it from yourself? Like, if somebody told you your writing was shitty and that you shouldn't be an author, you would just do it out of spite. You would be pissed off. You would be like, how dare you, right? So why are you going to say that to yourself? You know what I mean? You create your own reality and you believe what you put out there. And I'm not saying that because I've mastered the concept. No, I'm still somebody who lets my doubt keep me from doing things, right? And I let it block a lot of my own blessings, and I'm trying to work on this, but it's slow work because I am stubborn. So it's a lot harder for me to do it, but I'm here to tell you to stop doing it. Okay, if you need a reminder to stop doing it, then here is your reminder to stop doing it. No one told you today your art and your writing matters. And as tough as it can seem sometimes, you are not your thoughts. So just stop letting them control you. It's that simple. Also, yeah, if I'm looking down, I'm looking at my Kindle because this has all my notes on it. So, yeah. And I barely memorize any of this. So, yeah. There we go. But anyways, next thing. Feed your creative soul. Okay? Now, if crippling self-doubt isn't the fucking issue, then maybe your creative soul is starving. Okay? In order to write or create things effectively, you have to study the world around you. And that doesn't mean only consuming media like TV shows and books. That's great and all, but it's not real life. Okay? So using that as your only form of inspiration is going to leave you starving for more. You can't write about the world accurately if you're holed up in your room 24/7. Hate to break it to you. So it's important to gain real world experience so that your art can reflect that. So don't think you're failing just because you're not creating something tangible. Creating does also involve going outside, okay? It does involve hiking. It does involve going to the store. It involves doing yoga out in nature. It involves talking to people and hanging out with people and, building connections. That's the whole point of being a creator. You're able to present the world in your own perspective, and you can't do that if you're not experiencing the world. Okay, so go on that hike, my dude, and pay attention to how the trees curve and what the view from the mountaintop looks like. Go to that bookstore you want to go to. Go to that coffee shop. Okay, maybe go to that art museum. Pay attention to people. They might become a new character or another form of inspiration. And it was crazy. I was actually having this conversation with my mom a couple weeks ago because I unfortunately work in the customer service department. And I absolutely hate it because you know how I think by now you guys know I have some form of social anxiety, just a little bit. So working with people too long or dealing with rude customers, because trust me, they try me all the time. It becomes annoying. I get irritated. I'm like, I can't stand this. And then my mom was just like, try to make it a game for the live ones, because you definitely are gonna have some fucking live ones at some point. I've had several over the last week and I'm just done with all of them, but that's not the point. Also use that as an experience to pay attention to people. Make up stories in your head for the people that you come across. Like, for example, I actually saw a lady with a glass eye last week, and I was like, yo, that's kind of cool. So I wrote it down because I was like, I don't know when I'm going to use you, but you might be helpful. It was an older lady. She had a glass eye. It was poking out. I was like, that's kind of interesting. I wonder how you lost it. Of course, I'm not going to ask that question, but I'm curious. So I just made up, and I made up stories on maybe how she lost her eye. Maybe that sounds fucked up, but yeah, I made up stories. Sometimes if people are being mean to me or whatever, I just make up stories in my head about why they're being mean. Like, I know there was somebody a couple days ago who was just being rude as fuck for no reason. And I just said, maybe you're just not getting love at home or something. Like, maybe that's why you're mad. And that's totally okay. Maybe your car broke down. Like, maybe there's a reason why you're being a dick. Okay, not my problem. That's the best way to think about it sometimes. And there was also another time a year ago when I was actually going to the mall with my friends, and I saw this black lady. To most people, she probably wasn't even remotely significant. But to me, I looked at her and I was like, wow, you could be a really good character, because I think she had just gotten off of work or off an interview. She was wearing this blue pantsuit, older black lady. Had her hair gray silver hair, pulled up in like a bun, and she was smoking a cigarette. And I was like, something about you is really intriguing, so I wrote it down. I don't know when I'm going to use you in a story, but I'm going to use you in a story one day. And I don't know, it's just her vibe was just, you know? It was just, there's something there that I could use. So that's what I'm saying. Pay attention to the world. Don't get distracted by your phone as much. Just listen to conversations. You can pull inspo from everywhere. Like, I know even in my poetry class, we actually had a prompt where the teacher was like, pay attention to people, or listen in on a conversation and use that to fuel a poem. And I actually wrote a poem that I really love because of that. So that's what I'm saying. You gotta pay attention to the world. And I would also suggest changing environments. That actually helps a lot. Like, sometimes I get bored writing down the stairs, so I'll come up to my room and write in my recliner, since it's right by the window. Or if you don't have that same luxury, go to that coffee shop down the street. Please. Maybe there's a bookstore you can go write in. Maybe there's a restaurant you can go write in. Go write somewhere. Go do something. Go be free. Go outside. Go out in nature. You know what I mean? Touch some fucking grass. Okay? Because I know, for example, there was actually this coffee shop where I used to go to school at. Well, I say used to, like I graduated. No, I haven't graduated yet. I still go there. But I just don't live up in the area anymore. But when I did live up in the area, I actually had this coffee shop down the street that I like to go to. And I used to get so much writing done and so much homework done. And it was just such a vibe. And it was just a nice way to just get out the fucking house. Because sometimes I didn't want to sit in my room. Sometimes it got boring to sit in my room. So I was like, let me go somewhere else for a little while. And it's really nice. So go do that. If you feel like you're stuck in a rut, or you feel like your creative spark isn't there as much, maybe that means you need to just change it up a little bit. Nothing wrong with that. All right, third thing, do not let capitalism fuck you up. And yes, I did write fuck in that sentence because it needs to be known. And you guys already know how much I hate the concept of capitalism. I hate capitalism. Capitalism sucks. It's trash. And this is actually part of the conversation I was having with my friend. And I was telling him that we get so caught up in profiting off our creativity that we also stifle it in the process. And it was funny, is I actually did have an episode about how hustle culture stifles creativity. I'll link it up here, or you can go find it if you scroll down. It's a really great episode. I totally recommend it. Shameless plug. But besides the point, I do think it's important to remember that your creativity doesn't solely exist for you to make money off of it. Okay? And that would be nice and everything, to be rich because you wrote a book, or be rich because you created a really fucking dope ass painting. But that's exactly how people get burned out. And that's exactly how people lose their spark, because they're too worried about chasing monetary rewards or recognition that they forget, like, that wasn't what I came here for, right? So I recommend doing a project that's just for you, and remember what it's like to experiment and have fun with a creative pursuit or a writing project without worrying about marketing or fucking sales or what's trending right now that I can write or make so then I could get, to where I want to go. Like, just do something for you. Throw caution to the wind and just do what you want without expecting anything in return. Capitalism should not keep you from doing the things that make you happy. It shouldn't keep ruining shit that you love. It's ridiculous. Okay? Like, I actually have this exact same issue. Not necessarily with my books. Not anymore, at least. I don't really follow trends when it comes to books. I just do what I want. But when it comes to my candles, this is where I'm having an issue. So you guys already know I do own a candle business. And I also have not promoted that said business in like months, okay? I haven't made candles in forever. I cannot remember the last time I actually physically made a fucking candle. And, for the longest I came up with excuses. I'm like, oh, I'm in school, so I can't do it. Or, oh, I'm working, so I can't do it. But now I'm not working all the time. I'm not really in school right now because I just finished my summer classes. And even then, they were kind of not a lot of work. And I clearly have time to do this podcast, right? I clearly have time to write my book, right? So why am I not taking the time to work on my candles when I have the time and the energy and the resources to do it? Well, because I lost my spark. So that's what I'm saying. I know what it feels like to lose your spark because I did that. I don't know. It's just one of those things that I think I lost that love for it the same. Like, I walk in, because I had like a little space for it. I walk in there and I don't feel any goddamn joy. None whatsoever. If anything, it stresses me out to walk up in there. It makes me feel guilty to walk up in there because I know that I spent so much time, I put so much blood, sweat, and tears into that shit, and I'm just letting it rot away. And I'm just like, but I don't feel like doing it. I don't have any joy for it anymore. And I think it's just because I stopped being creative with it and I started chasing monetary rewards and I started chasing other shit and I forgot about the core of it. You know what I mean? The core of it was just for fun. Like, I just wanted to do it for fun. I just wanted to make candles and just do some shit. And then the day it became a job, I stopped having fun with it because I was just like, now I don't want to do it because now it's work now. It's not like what it used to be. I just stopped taking the time to do that because I let that hustle grind mindset keep me from being creative. I let it stifle me. I let my own thoughts keep me from doing it. I started overthinking it. And I'm just like, I don't want to keep doing that though. Like, I just went in there today and I immediately went, God damn, like, I don't even want to be in here. And then I was like, I hate that attitude and I really don't want to keep having that attitude. So I'm just trying to just open myself up to just experimenting. I have the time to experiment. Nobody's fucking flocking to my site, so it's okay. I got time to just do what I want to do. There's no rush. You know what I mean? So I guess that's what I'm saying though. You have to let go of any expectations you have for what your projects are, and you just need to have fun again. Just don't let capitalism fuck you up and keep you from expanding, for lack of a better word. Okay? Alright, so third thing, remember your why. This was the second part of the conversation I was having with my friend the other day, and to make a long story short, in his case, he felt like his spark was dying. He felt like his writing lost its purpose, for lack of a better word, okay? And my response to that, and to anyone feeling like that, is remember your why. Hence the damn title of this section, or this part of the podcast. Because the thing is, remember, most of us didn't choose the creative path because we were chasing some form of success. Yes, that would be great. Yes, I would love to be, like, for example, yes, I would love to be a best-selling author. I really would. I would love to be able to sell my books and make a living off of that shit. I would love for this podcast to be bigger than what it is. I really would. And this was a passion project, but I would love for it to be bigger than what it is. For real. But that was never really the driving force when I started. Okay? And most of us went into being a creator for a safe place to express ourselves, to have fun with it, to enjoy ourselves. You know what I mean? There was no expectations because we weren't doing it because we wanted something in return. We were doing it because we wanted to do it. That's it. That's the only reason why we were doing it. We weren't trying to become an influencer. We weren't trying to fucking sell copies. We weren't trying to do any of that, right? We weren't. We're not trying to make money off of what we were doing. We were just doing it to do it. And that's the difference. Okay? And for me, at least, I know with writing, I walked into it because I needed to say something. I knew I wanted to help people with my words. I knew I wanted to create a safe space for people the same way other people created a safe space for me. So that's my why. And that's always been my why. And that's my why with this podcast, is just here to help people. And I've had people come up to me and say, you know, I listen to your stuff and it really made me rethink things, or yeah, that really helped me out and I'm glad you made it. And I was like, oh, well, I did my job. That's exactly why I did this in the first place. And that keeps me going when I get upset that the views aren't where they need to be, or I'm like, dang, people aren't fucking with it the same, or dang, I don't know what people want or what people like or what people are interested in, or dang, you know, people ain't buying my books the way I want them to buy my books. Or dang, people aren't flocking to my site the way I need them to flock to my site. Like, when I start thinking like that, that's when I start losing my joy. And when I don't think like that, and I remember why I started, and I have people remind me of my why, that's when I have fun with it again. That's when I enjoy myself again. So maybe for you, you need to go back to your roots and go back to that main question that every person gets asked. Why do you do it? And I promise you, most of your fucking answers are not going to involve money, and they're not going to involve success. Swear on it. It's probably more than likely going to involve, I just wanted to do it, or that's just me. And that's your why. And that's where you have to remember that. And I promise you, your creative spark will come back. Okay? For real. All right. Next section. They're just a little late. And I'm not going to take credit for this amazing quote. It is by a creator called Heinz. He also has a podcast called Hindsight. So if you want to check him out, then I'll link his channel down below or whatever. And he said a bunch of others in this video that I linked down. The video is called like 3 creative reminders or whatever. But he said a lot of other things that I think you guys should listen to. But I'm not going to really talk about in this podcast because it's just like, I just didn't feel like it. But the one thing that did stick out to me the most was when he was speaking about divine timing. And I'm sure that most of us dream about making a living off our art, even though it can be a double-edged sword, which I've spoken about already. But sometimes we get discouraged when it's taking longer than we want. Sometimes we are like, what am I not doing that someone else is doing, because this person is more successful than me, but I'm still here and I'm working hard, but why am I not there? Or damn, I'm doing the same thing that they are doing and yet they have more success than me and I don't understand why. Well, maybe it's just not your time. Like, I hate to break it to you, maybe it's not your turn yet. Maybe your tribe just hasn't found you yet. Maybe they're just a little late to the party. And there's nothing wrong with that. Look, to be quite honest with you, I've been doing this for the last couple years, right? I'm just now starting to get to this point where I'm seeing something come from how much work I've put in to get to where I'm at today. And I haven't even really put in the work, okay? I'm just now really trying to learn how to market and really trying to learn how to put myself out there more. Okay, so technically, I guess I would say I started maybe last year. But it's been working for me. And I'm sure that if I keep going at the same pace that I'm going, I will be light years ahead of where I'm at. Trust me. And my tribe is slowly starting to find me, okay? Because I've talked about how I wanted to find more Black authors, right? Or Black indie authors. And slowly I'm starting to find that. And I'm so excited. The thing is, the right people will find you when they're supposed to. For real. Like, my people are starting to find me. Slowly. They're starting to find me. And I'm really, really excited. Like, your girl's finding her people. And I knew it would happen soon. And I know it's going to keep happening. So if you're in that mindset of, damn, I'm still at where I'm at, or damn, I'm not growing as fast as I want, or damn, why is this person more successful than me? And what am I doing wrong? You're not doing anything wrong. Keep doing what you're supposed to be doing. Everything you're doing right now is preparing you to deal with the success when it comes your way. So just keep doing what you're doing. Keep learning. Keep growing, keep being creative, keep just doing what you need to do. It will happen when it's supposed to. And I'm trying to remember that lesson too, so I'm not coming from a place of enlightenment, okay? But when you think about it like that, it takes a lot of stress away. Even if you don't quite understand it yet, you're on this path for a reason, and just accept that. It's that simple. All right, spill your guts. Sometimes talking about other people might ignite that spark again. Maybe you can reach out to a friend, or maybe you can reach out to a family member you trust, and maybe they can give you a different perspective that you wouldn't have otherwise considered. Like, the person I usually go to with this shit is my mom, because she always ends up giving me a perspective that I wouldn't have thought about. Am I stubborn, and do I listen all the time? No. But she usually does, and she's usually a lot more patient with me than most people are. And it's good because sometimes she gives me a solution that I completely missed. And I feel like sometimes we get so wrapped up in our own heads that we miss that solution that's always been there. But we're just too busy trying to find other shit that we miss it. Okay? And it's even better to talk to somebody who's also a creator, because then you guys can share struggles. You guys can brainstorm. You guys can really just relate to each other. And I think having a big community like that is very healing. So I do recommend trying to reach out to people, whether that's in person or online, and just build connections. You never know who might end up helping you later on in life, right? Being a creator doesn't have to be a lonely process, as long as you don't make it that way. Like, for example, the friend that I've been talking about, I just met him a couple weeks ago. Seriously. We're actually about to meet in person on this weekend, so I'm really excited. I'm very excited. He's really, really cool. I'll probably put his stuff up or in the description box, but I actually had followed him on Instagram previously, but I was too scared to reach out, right? I was too nervous to reach out. But I really liked his stuff, and I was like, wow, another Black author. He followed me back, and, you know, we never really chit-chatted until recently. I finally, on a whim, took a leap of faith, reached out to him, and then we've been chit-chatting ever since. And you know what? He's actually been helping me network. He's been helping me meet new people. He actually just got me to a fucking group chat with a bunch of other indie Black authors, and it's been the best thing ever that has happened. You know what I mean? We'll even talk on the phone, and he tells me about his writing struggles. I tell him about mine. I tell him about my book ideas. He tells me what I can improve on. He's like, I can help you with chapter titles. Like, we just work together, and it's been really great so far. And you know what? I didn't realize how much I really needed that until now. And I was like, dang, I've never really dealt with other writers. Like, very rarely do I meet other writers, and very rarely do I meet other people who self-publish, and very rarely do I meet Black ones, okay? Because unfortunately, I will say that I've been a part of more of the, you know, palm-colored community, indie community, and I've usually only been the only Black one, so it always was a little weird. And I feel like they have their own little clique, kind of. And I feel like they kind of only support each other. They don't tend to support other people or other races, ethnicities. I don't know the best word. I'm not here to bash anybody. You know, for real. I'm not here to bash nobody. I mean, you're going to support who you want to support. That's your business. But I do feel it's a little restrictive. At least they're part of the circle branch or whatever the fuck. Can be a little restrictive sometimes. And I always felt like I couldn't really get my foot in the door with them. Partly because I wasn't really as forthcoming. Partly because I feel like I don't have a place there. You guys kind of support your own people. And that's totally fine. You know, nothing wrong with that. But I wanted to find people who were a little more open to supporting others. And a little more like me. It's a lot easier to relate to people who look like me, who write stuff like me or whatever, or talk about struggles and things like that. It was just easier. And I'm glad that I'm finding more people that are more on my, you know, circle, or more in my realm. I don't know the best way to explain this, but I know what I'm trying to say. Maybe if you can decipher it, that'd be great. But yeah, I don't know. That's where I'm at anyways. The last thing, shut it down, take a break. And maybe despite all your best efforts, it's still gone. And maybe that means you might either, one, have to take a break from the project you've been working on, or two, maybe you need to take a break altogether. Not forever, but just enough to where you can reevaluate maybe where you want to go next, or the next steps in order to bring that joy back. Okay? And I know I mentioned 4 Pink Walls. Like, I'm gonna talking about my other book, 4 Pink Walls. You guys already know it's a coming of age story. I've been working on it for the last 2 years or so, and you know what? I actually not necessarily quit, but I've taken a break from it because I lost that spark. I did. I don't know how. I don't know when. Maybe it's just the story just wasn't flowing the way I needed it to flow, and I said I'm gonna put it on the back burner for a while, and I decided to work on something else. My Black romance, which I think I've mentioned before. I'm not really sure. But I decided to work on that. And you know what? I'm having so much fun with it. Like, it has been so enjoyable. I'm actually like 14,000 words in, which I've never written that many words that quick. Ever. I'm so passionate about the project. Like, I'm having so much fun with it. I'm enjoying myself so fucking much. And that reminded me of why I started writing in the first place, and that reminded me that my spark isn't dead. So I was like, I can still enjoy writing again. And I don't know. I'm just really, really happy for it, and I post progress updates quite a bit on my Instagram, so if you want to see that, then feel free. I hope to get it published next year. So, I did crack my knuckles. More on that soon, but I'm going to try to finish the first draft first before I start trying to worry about all that, right? I plan on trying to get that first draft finished by maybe, Cookie, you demon, maybe September. Hopefully September. Really praying September. And then the second draft, hopefully done by January. So then I can start opening the doors for beta readers, ARC readers, promotionals, whatever the fuck. Right? So all the jazz that we don't want to necessarily get into. But I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Ooh. But anyways, that's not why we're here to talk about that. Eventually, I will make a podcast episode solely based off of that, and I'll talk about my progress updates with it, but that'll probably be later on, like, when I get a little bit deeper into the process, because right now we're still in the first draft stage. Like, I could quit tomorrow. Not that I'm going to, but I could quit tomorrow, so I don't want to waste too much time building a whole episode on something that I'm not sure I'm gonna finish. I promise I'm gonna finish, but you never know. You know, plans fucking change. So, yeah. But anyways, my final thoughts. There are none. I just hope this guy's... there are none. I just really hope this helped you guys out, and I really hope that you guys can find your creative spark again, and I hope that my tips and tricks might get you there. Yeah, no, get you there a little bit faster. And if there's anything I missed, or maybe you have a different way of getting your spark back, please comment down below, send me a DM or whatever. I don't care. Whatever works for you. I'm pretty sure you can leave comments on all streaming platforms somehow. I'm not really well versed in that, but I'm sure you can. I'm sure you can figure it out. And if, like I said earlier, if you could leave me a rating, that'd be amazing. They really help me out. And if you can, also refer me to a friend. If you know you got a friend who likes to write or likes to listen to story times, because I do those on here too. Send them my way. Make them a new fan. Make them a new listener. I think it'd be cool. So, yeah. That's it, guys. So, have a great rest of your weekend. I forgot I start uploading these on Fridays now, so it's not great rest of your week anymore. It's just weekends. Not the point. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay gorgeous, stay fabulous, and I will see you next week. Bye!